Oh, if you have any questions, anytime, just ask the questions in the comment in the chat section, and then I will try to answer them, okay? All right, so welcome Mr. Mustafa, Assistant Rector of Universitas Muhammadiyah Luwuk. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, so let's move on now. These are the things that your audience will be looking for. So we talked about who, we talked about why, and now what are they looking for? This is generally in any piece of academic writing, anywhere to anyone. These are general. They will look for careful research. This means to say that when you say something, the question that you need to answer is, how do you know? Oh, I know because I think. No, 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 no. Remember that when you, especially if you want to do your scriptsy, I think it is, I think, oh, you think, who are you? Student. Okay, yeah. Are you a specialist? No. Do you know many things about that thing? Then why are you giving me your opinions if you don't do the research? So this is why you need to do research. So you can say A is good because X said this, Y said this, what Z said this. They all support A. Okay. Who are they? They are specialists. Okay, now I see what you're getting at. That's why you need to do careful research, especially if you want to do your scriptsy. Next, they will be looking at clear, insightful analysis. You analyze and analyze properly, analyze clearly, make sure that you can express yourself, make sure that your writing is clear. Next, remember this one, formality. Remember we talked about. Now, in linguistics, we have something which is, it's actually quite interesting. We call it talking down or talking up. You think, what is that? What's talking down, talking up? Well, imagine this. When you talk, if you're the boss and you talk down to somebody, what's your language going to be? You're going to say something like, hey, you take that, please. Thank you. Very simple, very short, and you can say few words and that's it. But if you're talking up, how long is your sentence going to be? Sir, I'm facing a bit of a problem right now, and I think I may need your assistance. Would you mind taking that? Whoa! You see how long that was? That's talking up. When you talk down, you take that. Thank you. You see, talk down, talk up. That's the concept. So when we talk up, it needs to be in a formal, respectful tone. Next one is well-crafted arguments. Next one is clear points. The next one they will look at is your language. Make sure that you don't make silly grammar and spelling errors. Next, if it is an academic piece of writing, they will look at your citations. You know, when you do research, who said that? What page did he say that? What did he say? So these are the things that they will look for. Oh, okay. My throat is running dry. Normally by now I would take this. You see now it's even. But that's unused today. Okay.
That bottle is the same color with my veil.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay, right. Good. Okay, so if you have any questions that you want to ask, please ask in the chat box. Yeah, anything, and I will try my best to answer. Okay. Now let's move on. So we've had a look at who, why, and what they look for. Yeah. And now it's time for you to start putting everything together. Now we talk about the structure in Bahasa, struktur, I think it's the same. Yeah, okay, in Malay it's also the same. Now, we start off with wanting to choose a topic. How do we choose a topic? There are two things that we need to think about when we want to choose a topic. Are we going to go wide? Or are we going to go narrow? And you think to yourself, apa itu Pak? Wide? Huh? Lebar? Do you say lebar? Like wide? What is it in Bahasa?
Yeah, lebar.
Lebar, yeah, I'll say, well, lebar. What does that mean, lebar? I'll tell you what it means. In fact, luas, okay.
Luas, yeah.
Luas would be that one. Okay, so you can use that one as well, yeah? Okay, so I'm going to give you an example, yeah? And you tell me what you think. Okay, let's say the topic is media.
Yeah.
Media. Is it a good topic? And what are you going to write about? Now, I want you to type in the chat, what are you going to write about? Okay, so Hadenti says it's not a good topic, okay? Why? Let's explore why this is not a good topic. Okay, I want to ask everybody now and tell me, there's no wrong answer for this, yeah? Just try. What are you going to write about? Okay, all right, good. Yep, so I think it's not a good topic, definitely. Okay, so what are you going to write about? Okay, so that's the question. Okay, let's say, for example, if I give you the topic or your lecturer gives you the topic, okay, class, write about media. Okay, what are you going to write about? Type that in the comments now. What are you going to write about? Media. Go. Come on. This is an exercise. I want you to see.
Come on, guys.
Come on, guys. Come on. Especially fourth years, especially third years, second years, first years. If you can do it, awesome. Fourth years, wajib. You have to do this. This is training. Come on, let's go. Come on, I'm waiting. Remember, guys, we only have about 15, 20 minutes until we have to finish, and then it's Q&A session. Okay, Rifani says, hello, guys. Okay. So Fadila says, write about culture. Okay, culture. How are you going to tie culture to media? Okay, good. Thank you for your answer. Anybody else? Go. I want some more answers. Teaching media. Okay, so Hadenti says teaching media. Okay. Miftahul Jannah says the irrelevance of media and reality today. Ooh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Marco says how media can turn facts. All right.
Wow.
Okay. Good. Yep. Give me some more. I know that you have a lot more. Come on, let's go. Come on. Give me some more. Media as the game changer. Okay. Media takes sides in politics.
Wow.
Wow, not bad. Okay, give me some more. Give me 2 more, and then after that, I'll move on. Come on. Wahadati, how many students, how many people do we have here today? I just want to know.
In here, I can see that there are 106 participants, but yeah, that's various from lecturers and students. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. 106. So 106, there are at least 60 students. At least 60 students. Come on, at least 60 students. Okay, we're having more. Okay, critical topic. Media can give many information. Language use in media. Okay, good. Okay, all right. Okay, popular culture in media. Good. We're getting a lot more there. Good. Thank you. Okay, now, question I want to ask you now. Scroll through the answers and tell me, are they all the same? Do they have the same focus, or are they different in focus? Scroll through the chat and have a look. These are your own answers, yeah? Scroll through them and tell me. You can see, right, that it is very diverse.
Yes.
The focus is not there. They're all interesting topics if you could read about them, but you have to remember, if you want to do something like this, it's probably in general writing you can do that. But even in general writing, what about media are you going to be talking about? There are 1,000 things. This is why we need to narrow the topic down.
Yeah.
So narrowing the topic is something that we need to be able to do. From big, from wide, narrow down the scope, especially in academic writing, because if you ask the 4th years right now, they're doing their skripsi, they will have been asked to do objectives. What are your research objectives, right? You can't do what are your research objectives if you're talking about media. Okay, what's your objective? I don't know, media. What? Oh, media, everything. You can't.
Too general.
It's too general. So you need to be able to narrow it down. And we're gonna do it in 3 steps. Number 1, we have the general topic or the general subject. Number 2, we're going to have the narrowed topic. Number 3, we're going to have the specific topic. Okay, we're getting some more answers here. Impact of media, monitoring what happened. Media is the eyes of the world. Knowledge in the media. Again, thank you for your answers. And as you can see, very wide. There is
very
no
wide.
focus, yeah? And let's go back to this one now. As you can see, yeah. So you can see here, now this is an example. Topic is media, general subject, yeah? Media, narrow topic, newspapers.
Yeah.
Specific topic, how newspapers manipulate their audience. Then, if you were to say, what is your research objective? Then you can say to investigate how newspapers manipulate their audience. You can see, right? So it goes from general to narrow to specific. Okay. Now, let's try this together, shall we? Now, this is what I want you to do. Okay, so I want it very simple, very simple. It doesn't have to be too difficult. I'm going to take this and I'm going to share the link. Okay. All right, so the link is now in the chat. You're going to do the same thing. War is the is the general subject. Go down to narrow, go down to specific. Let's try this, and I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to do this, okay? Come on, let's go.
Okay, come on guys, pay attention to the link. Yeah,
Okay.
we do this one more, like the previous one. Di Padletnya saya ada.
Oh, do you have problems typing on the Padlet?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you have problems, then okay, hang on, yeah. Then okay, let's just do this. Hang on. Type in the chat below. Type in the chat, and you can do that in the chat straight away. So just do that. Okay.
Yes.
Just for fun, don't think, oh, I have to find the perfect one. No, this is just an exercise. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? All right, Middle East War and its influence to women and children. Nice, thank you. Yeah, that's from Buhardianti. Okay, let's have a look some more.
War. Army gun. Okay.
Okay. Okay, right. I think we need another lesson on this.
This one is very sensitive topic, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, it's just a topic.
Yeah.
For you to write down.
Yeah.
Post-traumatic.
What is no?
Disorder and casualty.
Maybe it's going to be typed there.
Okay, come on. Come on, guys. Come on. I'm going to give you 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes.
Come on, guys, come on, please.
Do the format, yeah? Just copy the format. Narrow topic, specific
Just
topic.
copy, yes. Just copy the format, guys.
Then write down. So then you can see. If you do that, you can see general area and then the. Okay. All right.
I think people who used to play game may be familiar with this topic, right?
Yeah. Okay, all right. So let's have a few more. Okay, so okay, Marco says war. UN Eastern Border Troop has entered southern ISIS camp. 3 civilians died in gun battle. Not quite what we were looking for, Marco. That's more of a headline. Okay, let's have a look and see if anybody else got what I'm talking about. Don't worry about it. If you don't get it now, you will understand this when you do your scriptsy, because your lecturers are going to train you how to do this, because you have to come up with research questions and research objectives, and you can't do that if your topic is very, very general. Okay. All right. Guthrie says war, state problem, effect of Vietnam War. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's have a look and see is it specific enough. War, biological war, negative impact of biological war on our life. Okay, good. Okay, let's have a few more there. Okay, all right, good. Have a few more, and then I'll guide you through this just a bit, just to see what I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay, so war, impact of war, war and peace. Okay, not quite there. Good try. All right, so remember it's going to be from big, and then from that it's going to be there, and from there it's going to be there. So they've all got to be connected, right? So Yusnati says the impact of war in the society. Okay, or impact of war in society. Okay, all right. Rifandi says hujan, guys.
Yeah, it's
Hashtag, what?
really heavy rain here.
Oh, it's raining. Okay.
Yeah.
Civil war, war strategy and tactics. Okay. Okay. So civil war strategy and tactics. Okay. All right. Stop. Thank you very much for that. We're going to look through a few. Yeah, we're going to look through a few. Now, I'm going to guide you through the process. Okay. Now, these are the questions that need to be asked for this topic, for example. Yeah. First of all, war. Question 1. Am I writing about one war? Am I writing about war in general? Am I writing about every single war that's happened? Am I talking about the war in mankind? Am I talking about World War I? Am I talking about World War II? Am I talking about the Gulf War? Am I talking about the Civil War? Am I talking about konfrontasi Indonesia-Malaysia? Am I talking about the war between the sexes? The war between males and females? The war between siblings? The war between races? What war am I talking about? Can you see that? There are so many things within one single word. You have to narrow it down. And then, am I concentrating on the history of war? Am I concentrating on its causes? Am I concentrating on its outcome? Am I concentrating on the impact of war? What exactly am I talking about? And am I talking about any specific events or any examples that would illustrate the point? So what this means here is that these are all guiding questions to think. When you have one thing there, can you what we need to be able to do is, when I read it, what comes to my mind is the same as what is in your mind. That is the purpose of academic writing The goal of it is what I have in my mind, you can read, not what I have in my mind. And when you read, you have something else. For example, if I think in my mind of an elephant, in your head, you see a giraffe, then you would have failed, right? I'm thinking of elephant, I have to describe an elephant. So here, now, if we have a look, war, civil war, war strategy and tactics. Now, you can see that that one is war, civil war, connection. What about civil war and war strategy and tactics? Not quite connected. So that one has a broken connection. Let's have a look at some of the others. War, impact of war, war and peace. Are they connected? War, impact of war, and you talk about impact of war, war and peace. Which war? What peace? You see that? The questions still have not been answered. And you talk about, Naomi Nasawa says, war, biological war, the negative impact of biological war on our life. This is closer to what we need, because you have war, biological war, impact of biological war. But I want to ask you again the question, are we talking about general biological war, or are we talking about specific ones? That's probably one of the things that we want to think about, yeah? Now, if you have a look at the one that I gave, I put down war, casualty means people getting hurt, and post-traumatic stress disorder in casualties of the Gulf War in 2001. Is that specific? Yes.
Yes.
I'm talking about casualty. I'm talking about, and narrow it down, I want to talk about PTSDs within the casualties within one very specific war. So when I say that, what's in my mind will be the same in your mind, and that is very, very important. Okay, so if you haven't got this down, don't worry about it yet. You will practice more, especially when it's time for you to do your scriptsy. Okay. Yes. All right, so let's move on, and we've got to move on quickly now because time is of the essence. Next, okay, so we've gone through the everything else. We've gone through the titles, and now we want to go through the introduction. What is the introduction, and what should we put in the introduction? And if you think about it, an introduction is like a map. The introduction is the map of the essay if you're doing an essay. Chapter 1, if you're doing your scriptsy, Chapter 1 is the map of your whole scriptsy. So within Chapter 1, you're going to be talking about, things like introduction. You're going to be talking about the background. You're going to be talking about research objectives. You're going to be talking about limitations. You're going to be defining things, right? Because that's the map. Anytime that I don't understand something, I should be able to refer to Chapter 1 for me to understand what I am reading. If I read Chapter 1, I should be able to understand everything else. The same thing, if I read your introduction, I should know immediately what you want to tell me. So within the introduction, if it's an essay, normally you have something like a thesis statement. Thesis statement is what are you going to be talking about? You normally have something which is the outline, the root of the topic. You normally have the context, which is the background of the topic. And you normally have some definitions. So generally, these are some of the things that you will have. So for example, all right, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. Let's read through that, yeah? Read that. different, this is one thing that you're going to find, yeah? You read different books, you go to different websites, there are different ways of doing it, different ways, different terms, but they're generally the same thing. They will tell you about, this is what I'm going to be talking about. This is what I'm going to be writing about, okay? So in this example, you have the first sentence, which is a general statement that introduces the topic. Next, they have the definition. Next, they have the thesis statement, which is like, what am I going to be talking about? And next, they have the outline. This essay will focus on main arguments connected to stability, salaries, and diversification, and conclude with suggestions on how fair trade could be improved. Normally, this is how things are done in academic writing. In other forms of writing, there are some differences, okay? Don't worry about this one. You think this is, oh my God, too many words, too many words. But I'm going to give you just a bit of time. Just have a read through this, and then you can see as well what we mean with this one. Is background to the topic, and then outline of the aims of the essay. Read sample one at least. Can you read through that? I'm hoping you can. It's a bit small. I know it's a bit small, but try and see if you can read it.
Yeah, it's readable, sir.
Is it readable? Good. Okay.
Yeah.
So read at least sample one. If we don't have time, just read sample one so that you can see what we have, yeah? So you can see that the purple highlighted text gives the background about the topic. Academic writing is like this, these are the problems, essential for, This essay will, and then he proceeds to give the outline of the essay. And this is generally what people look for in academic writing. And if you have a look at sample 2, similar, but it adds a quotation at the very beginning, yeah? From these quotations, this is the background, and then this essay will, and then you have something to start off the essay. For this one, it starts off with the definition, and then it gives the background, and it has a quotation, but the components are the same. It has the background, it has the outline, this one has the quotation, and this one has a suggestion of the conclusion. You don't have to have this if you don't want to, but it's there if you want to use it. Okay? All right, so now, the thesis statement, we don't have time to go through this, but the thesis statement would be what you're talking about. What is the paragraph about? That is the thesis statement. We only have 10 minutes more, but I'll stretch this to 5 minutes, and after that I will open to Q&A. So I'm going to rush through these last things just a bit, because there are some important things that I want to go and do. Generally, when you talk about the body, you talk about the flow. How are you going to arrange your essay? This is if you do an essay. If you do a scriptsy, it's going to be more chapters, yeah? So are you going to do linear, which is this is point 1, this is point 2, this is point 3, point 4, conclusion? Are you going to do two-sided, so you have introduction, then aspect 1, aspect 2, and then compare? Argumentative is this is the one against, this is the one for, this is the one against, this is the one for, this is the one against, this is the one for, this is the conclusion. Or an SPSE, which is situation, problem, solution, evaluation, and conclusion. So these are some of the ways. And if we had more time, like I said, guys, today cannot be a full course on academic writing, because this one itself would be a lesson. But I want to go through at least the essential parts. Yeah. So then we talk about paragraphs. Now remember this. Every paragraph should be complete. It should be self-enclosed. Each paragraph should need to be a complete idea, where you have the topic sentence. This is what the paragraph is about. Supporting sentences, and these, so you have the topic, and then after that supporting, and then concluding or leading to the next paragraph. Then if we do this, this will be a nice flow throughout your whole text. Now, we are moving on to the final bits here when we talk about formality. Yeah, if we had more time, like I said, I'd give more a lesson on this formality, because in informality you need to do quite a few things. In formality, you need to talk about, for example, do you say I think in academic writing? Well, this is a tricky problem. Most academics say no, you shouldn't. You can say the reader, the writer, and so on. But in some disciplines, like in my discipline, you can use I, but you don't normally say I think. You can say, you can use the word I, but then you have to use other more sophisticated words. Don't worry too much about this. Next one that you shouldn't use is contractions. And I see this all the time. Don't do this. Isn't, aren't, shouldn't, won't, can't. Don't do this in academic writing. Buhardenti is laughing. Yeah. That's because that happens all the time. When you do academic writing, it's formal. Shouldn't is not shouldn't, it's should not. Can't is cannot. Isn't is not. Don't shorten. Very, very important. If you shorten it, it becomes informal. Next, don't use colloquial language, don't use slang, avoid poetic language, and avoid choppy, short sentences. I'll give you an example, though the example is not very academic, but okay. So this is, let's say, a story about Cinderella, okay? So she scrubbed the floors, full stop. They were dirty, full stop. She used the mop, full stop. She sighed sadly, full stop. It was as if she were a servant, full stop. You see, like, you will read, you feel like, oh God, I can't read this. How do you do it? You join them together, put commas. So it becomes, she scrubbed the dirty floors using a mop, comma, as if she were a servant, full stop. She sighed sadly. You see how much better that is? And this is one of the things that you should learn to do. Read aloud when you do academic writing. Because when you read aloud, you will listen to how you write. Sometimes when you write, you don't realize that you write very choppy sentences. You read them and then you realize, oh my God, I have to stop so many times. Oh, not very nice. Then you know that you can change them. So stay away from choppy, short sentences. Not to say you should write down like so long, no, but you see, like stay away from that, yeah. Okay, now last 5 minutes, I want to talk about this, yeah. In-text citations. Now you've seen this one. Now I'm asking, especially for fourth years doing your scriptsy. You've seen this, right? Things like this, right? You've seen this. You've seen name and then year. You've seen that, right? And then P1 and then name, year, P44. You've seen this, right? This tells the reader that you have done your research. This tells the reader that you have taken somebody else's thoughts and you are giving them credit. This tells the reader if they want to read more, what do? They can go to these books. That's why in-text citation is very, very important. But most of all, to avoid plagiarism. Most of all. So how do we do it? We can do very simply, we can use quotations where you put, and then you can take the whole thing, you put down the year, put down the page, or you can paraphrase, take it around, understand it, get your own idea, put it down, but still credit the other person. And how do you do it? You put down your name, not the name of the person, the year, the page number, especially if you are using direct quotations, if you're taking directly. For example, a must-have for all enthusiasts. This is not what I said. This is what he said. You see?
Yeah.
This means to say if somebody has a problem and says, oh, that's wrong. And you say, oh, I didn't say this. No, 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 no. He said it. Ah, so it's not your fault. But this is how we do it. If it's other people's ideas, even though you've changed the words, there's still other people's ideas. If it's other people's words and ideas, you have to put the page number. Very, very important. That's what the P45 is there for. Or some people, they use the :45, yeah? So, now, these are some of the other ways to quote, yeah? Chan, 2005, page 16, states that the internet is a useful research tool. Anders suggests that, you see, these are some of the verbs that you can use, not just says that, says that, says that, says that, says that, boring. According to Chan, according to Anders, it's kind of boring. So you need to switch things around. So you use some of these words. I'm listening, okay. Miftahul Jannah says use Grammarly, okay. You guys are so spot. You have so many tools. We didn't have any of those things. Okay, indicates, points out, presents evidence. So these are some of the other ways that you can use quotations. Remember, this is not the whole course on in-text citation. No, that one is actually very long, but I'm giving you the basics. This is how we do it, and make sure you give name, year, page number. Very, very important, yeah? Now, when you talk about a controversial topic, you can actually use the word argues. When you read the word argues, you know that, this means to say that this person says this, but another person says that. So you are telling the reader, I know that some of you may not agree with this. You see that? Because that's why I use the word, this person argues that, because I know that some people may argue something else. So you can use that. Next is, stay away from using says. Stay away from this. He says, she says. It's very informal. It's, you know, she says, she says. And you can use it probably once or twice, but personally, I don't use says, because says is very informal. And another thing, some people use this, but I don't. Claim. You know why? Because claim is judgmental. When you say, listen, yeah, Hui claims that the internet is a time-saving research tool. Oh, he claims. Is it real? Well, I don't know. He claims it. For me, not so much. See, he claims. When you put down claims, you are giving judgment. You are being critical. So what about, okay, Mu'min says, what about define that? That's totally fine. If you're talking about a definition, so-and-so defines so-and-so, totally fine. But you can only use that for definitions. Not definitions, you can't use define that, okay? Okay, we don't have time to do the exercise, otherwise this would be fun. Okay, wrapping up now. When you write, do you use British or American? Do you use S? Do you use Z? Do you use double L? Answer is, you know, because you have to set the language in your Word document, right?
Yeah.
Answer is actually,
Yes.
it shouldn't really matter as long as you are consistent.
Okay.
If you start using American spelling, use it all the way. If you start using British spelling, use it all the way. However, remember the first thing, who is the audience? Remember, if your audience, remember that you are sending to, for example, is a company in the UK, then which one are you going to use? You're definitely going to need to use British. That's why I told you from the beginning, who is the audience? You have to cater everything to the audience, okay? So bullets or numbers, capital, capitalization, Western, small w, big W, quite subjective. Be consistent. We're almost at the end. Last thing is you need to prove your work. I tell my students this time and time again. Don't think that, I'm good in English, I don't need to prove. No matter how good you are, if English is not your mother tongue, or if English is not your native tongue or near native, then get somebody else to proofread. Even if it is your native tongue, get somebody else to proofread, because sometimes there may be mistakes that you did not see. Why? Do you know that the human brain skips mistakes? Do you know that? It doesn't see mistakes.
Yeah.
If you do something, you type and you read again. Sometimes you don't even see the mistakes because your brain thinks that it's there. But actually, you may be missing an S, you may be missing a T, you may be missing this word, you may be missing a the, you may be put double words. Your brain sometimes does not see them. So you need to proofread because it greatly affects your credibility. When it affects your credibility, you are not going to get that job. You are not going to get you published. People are going to think you are an idiot, even though you're not an idiot, but you are careless. So don't shoot yourself in the foot. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that
Nice illustration.
the end. And before we do that, for question and answers, before I move on, I'm just going to show these last bits before I pass it back to Bu Hardianti. Let's keep in touch, guys. Yeah, so this is me. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Insta, if you're on Twitter, so that's my email up there if you need to contact me for anything. If you are interested in S2, S3, when the time comes, you know, you can contact me. Let's talk. I have no problems with that. I'm very active on Facebook, slightly active on IG, but still there, active on Twitter. And if you have a look down there as well, that's the page of my company, AMN Inspire. You can actually see it's www.amninspire.com. I'll just show that one, www.amninspire.com. Just to show you, just to, so this would be the company that I have where I'm trying to get it registered as a UTM company, as a UTM spin-off company. We do training, we do consultancy, we do coaching, and so on. So please feel free to have a look at those when you have time. And lastly, lastly is I'm also on YouTube. So I'd love it if you guys can go on the YouTube
Like
and subscribe. And because I've been very busy now, so I haven't been pumping out content, a lot of content. But
okay.
okay, hang on, yeah.